It seems like all my peers have this idea that being young is an excuse for not living a satisfying life. But young people are not the only group who hide behind excuses. We all do. I get it. Taking on responsibilities in life is scary. It's way cooler to have toast with avocado. But you know what's also cool? Building a meaningful career that you're proud of, contributing to other people's lives, creating a product or service that is useful, investing your money for your retirement. Yeah, but I'm still young. There's always tomorrow. Come on, stop hiding. What are you waiting for? To everyone out there that doesn't feel fulfilled, I have one idea that I want to share. Start living like you're immortal. Yes, I know it sounds weird. So give me 2 minutes to explain. Conventional wisdom says that life is not forever, right? Life is short. You only live once. Live now. And I agree with that as well. But when you live your life according to that philosophy, it doesn't make sense to do anything that takes a long time to pay off. If you think that life is short, why on earth would you do hard things? It doesn't make sense. From that perspective, it's better to spend your money, go out every week, drink as much as you can, and live large. Ask yourself, what does all that lead to? It doesn't take a scientist to answer that question. The answer is nothing. This mentality creates a trap. When you believe life is fleeting, you prioritize instant gratification over delayed rewards. You choose pleasure over purpose. You opt for comfort over challenge. And while these choices feel good in the moment, they leave you empty in the long run. The irony is that living for today often robs you of a satisfying tomorrow. Think about the typical trajectory this creates. You spend your 20s partying and avoiding responsibility. You spend your 30s playing catch up and regretting wasted time. You spend your 40s stressed about money and career stagnation. You spend your 50s wondering where it all went wrong. This pattern repeats across generations, different cultures, different economic classes. It's a universal human tendency to seek immediate pleasure at the expense of future well-being. The problem isn't enjoying life. The problem is using the brevity of life as justification for avoiding meaningful work. There's a massive difference between being present and being reckless. There's a distinction between enjoying the moment and living only for the moment. One approach enriches your life. The other diminishes it. Now, there's also another perspective on living, that you're here forever. Think about it. How different would you live if I told you that you're never going to die? When I look at myself, I used to live as if I were mortal. I'd spend my money on clothes, gadgets, holidays. But I also seemed to be in a hurry. I wanted to achieve a lot of things in my life, and preferably very fast. This created a constant state of urgency mixed with paralysis. Everything felt urgent, so nothing got proper attention. I'd start projects and abandon them when results didn't come immediately. I'd jump between goals without giving any single pursuit enough time to develop. The pressure to accomplish everything quickly meant I accomplished very little deeply. I also pursued many things at the same time, just like a dog chasing every shiny thing out there, or even chasing my own random ideas. This scattered approach guaranteed mediocre results. When you divide your energy among 10 different pursuits, you can't achieve excellence in any of them. You become a jack of all trades and master of none. And worse, you feel constantly behind because there's always something else you should be doing. But lately I've adopted a different mindset. It's an idea of, what if I were immortal? I know it sounds like I'm working on a hyperbolic chamber that promises eternal life. But trust me, I'm not that delusional. I'm talking figuratively. The first time I got this idea was from ancient philosophy. The concept was to think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live properly. I'm particularly referring to the last part, living properly. What does that mean? I think everyone has a different perspective. To me, living properly means that I'm satisfied with my life, that I can look myself in the mirror and genuinely say, I like my life. Was I truly satisfied when I lived my life in the now? No, not really. I didn't have a real career or a house or anything that I was proud of. And why was that? I was too focused on the now. I wanted things to happen fast. Before you know it, you'll be dead. Now, that mindset is fine to get started. Nothing works better than kicking someone in the butt by telling them they're going to die. But once you're working on building a life, it's not helpful to think like that. Being present is a great thing, but like many things in life, don't overdo it. The obsession with presence can become its own trap. When taken to an extreme, it justifies short-term thinking. It excuses avoiding difficult conversations because they're uncomfortable right now. It rationalizes skipping the gym because you don't feel like it today. It permits overspending because you deserve to enjoy yourself in this moment. These decisions feel aligned with being present, but they actually undermine your future satisfaction. True presence doesn't mean ignoring consequences. It means being fully engaged with what you're doing while also considering how today's choices shape tomorrow's reality. You can be present while planting seeds for the future. You can enjoy the moment while building something lasting. These aren't contradictory. They're complementary when you have the right framework. That's why I like to live like I'm immortal. Because when you live forever, you have all the time in the world to build something. You can make mistakes and learn from them. There's no pressure to make things happen fast. You treat people with respect because other people will also be around forever. Let me break down each of these benefits because they fundamentally change how you approach life. When you have all the time in the world to build something, you stop rushing. You give projects the time they need to develop properly. You understand that meaningful work takes years, not weeks. You commit to the process rather than obsessing over outcomes. This patience creates better results. Think about any skill worth having: playing an instrument, building a business, developing deep relationships, writing well, becoming physically fit. None of these happen quickly. They all require sustained effort over extended periods. When you're rushing because life is short, you give up before things get good. When you're thinking long-term because you're immortal, you stick with things long enough to see them flourish. You can make mistakes and learn from them. This is huge. When you think life is short, every mistake feels catastrophic. You beat yourself up for wasting precious time. You avoid taking risks because failure seems too costly. This fear of mistakes keeps you stuck in mediocrity because growth requires experimentation, and experimentation includes failure. But when you're immortal, mistakes become tuition for future success. You try something, it doesn't work. You learn why, you adjust, you try again. There's no drama, no self-flagellation, no time wasted on regret. Just information gathering and course correction. This mindset accelerates learning because you're willing to fail forward rather than playing it safe. Some of the most valuable lessons come from spectacular failures. The business that collapsed taught you what not to do next time. The relationship that ended showed you what you really need in a partner. The project that flopped revealed gaps in your skills that you then worked to fill. These experiences only become valuable when you stick around long enough to apply the lessons. If you're rushing through life, you just collect failures without extracting wisdom from them. There's no pressure to make things happen fast. This might be the most liberating benefit. Our culture glorifies speed, fast success, rapid growth, overnight achievement. This creates unrealistic expectations and constant disappointment. Most worthwhile accomplishments take far longer than we initially expect. When you're racing against a ticking clock, every delay feels like failure. But when you're immortal, you can take your time. You can spend a decade mastering your craft before expecting recognition. You can build your business slowly and sustainably rather than pursuing explosive growth that burns you out. You can develop friendships gradually instead of forcing intimacy. This patience doesn't mean being lazy or complacent. It means understanding that quality takes time and being willing to invest that time. The pressure to rush creates poor decisions. You take the wrong job because you feel behind your peers. You stay in the wrong relationship because you're afraid of starting over. You make risky financial moves because you want to catch up quickly. These rush decisions often make things worse, creating more problems to solve and more time to make up. The immortal mindset helps you avoid this trap by removing the artificial urgency. You treat people with respect because other people will also be around forever. This shifts your entire approach to relationships. When you think everyone is temporary, you can justify burning bridges. You can be rude to service workers because you'll never see them again. You can ghost people when relationships get difficult. You can prioritize your needs without considering others because what's the harm in the long run? But when everyone is immortal, your reputation matters infinitely more. The person you're rude to today will remember it forever. The bridge you burn stays burned eternally. The relationship you neglect never repairs itself. This creates a powerful incentive to treat everyone well, not just people who can immediately benefit you. This mindset also makes you more patient with people. When someone annoys you, you remember that you'll be dealing with them forever, so you might as well work it out. When someone makes a mistake, you forgive them because holding grudges for eternity sounds exhausting. When someone succeeds, you celebrate genuinely because their success doesn't threaten your infinite timeline. The immortal mindset fundamentally changes how you show up in relationships. You invest more deeply because these connections will compound forever. You communicate more honestly because lies and pretense can't be maintained eternally. You apologize more readily because the cost of unresolved conflict is infinite. You give more generously because you'll benefit from living in a generous world forever. This small tweak in my mindset has helped me to take a different view on life. I'm not afraid to look 10 or 20 years ahead. That helps me to make better decisions today. For example, I'd rather save my money or invest it instead of spending it because I know that future me will benefit from that. Let's explore this more deeply. When you think 10 or 20 years ahead, you start making fundamentally different choices. You invest in your education because the knowledge compounds over decades. You take care of your body because you'll be living in it forever. You build good habits because you'll be executing them thousands of times. You nurture important relationships because they'll define your quality of life eternally. Financial decisions transform when you think long term. That expensive car becomes less appealing when you consider the opportunity cost over decades. That daily coffee habit looks different when you calculate its cumulative cost over your immortal life. That investment you're nervous about seems more attractive when you consider infinite compound interest. Every dollar you spend or save has eternal consequences when you're immortal. Career decisions also shift dramatically. Taking a lower-paying job that offers better learning becomes obviously correct when you have forever to capitalize on that knowledge. Starting a business that might take 5 years to become profitable seems perfectly reasonable when you're immortal. Changing careers at any age makes sense because you have unlimited time to build expertise in the new field. Health decisions become non-negotiable. When you're living forever, letting your body deteriorate is unacceptable. Every workout matters because you're maintaining this vehicle eternally. Every meal matters because you're fueling infinite days. Every hour of sleep matters because you're recovering for endless tomorrows. The cumulative impact of these choices over an immortal timeline makes them impossible to ignore. But how about the present? Well, I talked about being satisfied, right? Odd enough, I'm more satisfied when I save my money, or when I eat healthy food or work out every day. This is the beautiful paradox. Living like you're immortal actually makes the present more satisfying, not less. When you make choices that benefit your future self, you feel proud right now. When you invest instead of splurge, you feel responsible and mature right now. When you work out instead of skipping, you feel accomplished right now. These good feelings are immediate even though the choices are long-term oriented. There's a deep satisfaction that comes from delayed gratification. It's the satisfaction of being in control of yourself rather than being controlled by impulses. It's the satisfaction of building something rather than consuming something. It's the satisfaction of investing in your future rather than borrowing from it. This satisfaction is richer and more lasting than the fleeting pleasure of instant gratification. Consider how you feel after a night of excessive drinking versus a night of good sleep. The drinking provides temporary fun followed by regret, hangover, and lost productivity. The sleep provides restoration, energy, and capability. Which one actually makes you feel better about your life? The immortal mindset helps you choose the option that creates lasting satisfaction rather than momentary pleasure. Or think about spending a weekend binge watching shows versus spending it learning a new skill. The shows provide passive entertainment that you'll barely remember. The skill development provides active engagement that builds capability you'll use forever. Again, which creates more real satisfaction. When you're thinking long-term, the answer becomes obvious. This doesn't mean never enjoying yourself. It means redefining enjoyment to include things that benefit your future self. You can enjoy a great meal without overindulging. You can enjoy entertainment without wasting entire days. You can enjoy purchases without derailing your financial future. The immortal mindset helps you find balance rather than swinging between deprivation and excess. When I think about this idea, I find it fascinating how well it works. We all know we're going to die. That's a good and bad thing. Good because it gives us urgency. Bad because we lose sight of the big picture. Let's examine this tension more carefully. The awareness of mortality can motivate action. Knowing time is limited can push you to stop procrastinating. It can help you prioritize what truly matters. It can make you cherish moments with loved ones. These are valuable insights that come from understanding life's brevity. But mortality awareness also creates problems. It makes you panic about being behind schedule. It causes you to rush through experiences without fully engaging with them. It tempts you to take shortcuts that undermine long-term success. It justifies poor choices because you deserve to enjoy yourself before you die. These are the downsides of focusing too much on life's short duration. The solution isn't to choose one perspective over the other. It's to hold both simultaneously. Be aware that life is finite, which creates urgency and focus. But live as if you're immortal, which creates patience and wisdom. This dual mindset captures the benefits of both approaches while avoiding their pitfalls. Think of it like this. The mortality perspective answers the question, what should I do? It helps you identify what matters and eliminate what doesn't. The immortality perspective answers the question, how should I do it? It helps you approach important things with patience, consistency, and long-term thinking. Together, these perspectives create a powerful framework. Mortality helps you choose meaningful goals. Immortality helps you achieve them sustainably. Mortality reminds you not to waste time. Immortality reminds you not to rush. Mortality makes you value relationships. Immortality makes you nurture them properly. Mortality creates focus. Immortality creates patience. This balanced approach solves many common life problems. Feeling behind, the immortal mindset removes arbitrary timelines. Feeling rushed, the immortal mindset eliminates pressure for quick results. Feeling tempted by instant gratification, the immortal mindset makes long-term choices obviously superior. Feeling burned out, the immortal mindset encourages sustainable pacing. How do you live, like a mortal or immortal person? Whatever it is, I hope you're satisfied with your life. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters most. Satisfaction is the ultimate metric. Not achievement, not wealth, not status, satisfaction. The feeling that your life is well lived, that you're proud of how you spend your days, that you're building something meaningful, that you're treating people well, that you're growing and improving, that you're making choices aligned with your values. Most people aren't satisfied because they're living according to someone else's timeline or someone else's definition of success. They're rushing because society says they should be further ahead. They're pursuing goals that don't actually matter to them. They're making choices based on fear rather than vision. This disconnect creates chronic dissatisfaction regardless of external success. The immortal mindset helps you define satisfaction on your own terms. You're not competing with others because everyone has infinite time. You're not following arbitrary timelines because you have forever to accomplish your goals. You're not pursuing empty achievements because you'll have to live with the consequences eternally. This clarity helps you build a life that actually satisfies you rather than impressing others. Start experimenting with this mindset today. When facing a decision, ask yourself, if I were going to live with the consequences of this choice forever, what would I decide? This simple question transforms your decision making. It makes the right choice obvious in situations where short-term thinking creates confusion. Should you eat the unhealthy food? Not if you're living with the health consequences forever. Should you skip the workout? Not if you're maintaining this body eternally. Should you avoid the difficult conversation? Not if you're living with unresolved tension forever. Should you spend money you don't have? Not if you're dealing with the financial consequences eternally. The immortal mindset doesn't make life harder. It makes it simpler. It removes the mental gymnastics we do to justify poor choices. It eliminates the cognitive dissonance between what we know we should do and what we want to do. It aligns your actions with your long-term interests, which paradoxically makes the present more enjoyable. This is how you build a life you're actually proud of. Not by rushing, not by consuming, not by avoiding responsibility, but by thinking long-term, making wise choices, building steadily, treating people well, and letting time compound your efforts. Live like you're immortal. Build like you have forever. And watch as this mindset transforms your present satisfaction while simultaneously creating a better future. The beauty of this approach is its universal applicability. Whether you're 20 or 50, wealthy or struggling, established in your career or just starting out, the immortal mindset improves your life. It meets you wherever you are and helps you make better choices from that point forward. You can't change the past, but you can decide how you'll live your infinite future starting right now.